Hey, you. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you. Are you looking for the best way to promote your podcast? It's easy. Just advertise your podcast to your ideal target audience. That's right, listeners of similar podcasts. Podbean has the best and most cost-effective options for you. Just go to the website sponsorship.podbean.com/STR. That's right, your friends here at Scout Team Radio are hooking you up. Go to sponsorship.podbean.com/STR and you will get the best deals to get your podcast rolling. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy Scout Team Radio.
Yeah.
You want to like them, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Yeah.
Good morning and welcome back. That's right, you are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. I am one of your favorite hosts. They call me
You are the most
Loudbeard.
egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
Hey, she talked over me. I did not like that, but it's true. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great American and a great patriot. You all know him as
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy Chris America coming to you live this Monday, August the 12th, 2019, Loudbeard, here on 12ouncesportsradio.com, where you can find us every weekday morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We do like to sleep on the weekends, don't we?
Yeah, I love sleeping in on the weekends. I did not get to on Saturday morning, though. I had a meeting at my other day job, and so we had a Saturday meeting, and it was early. I had to be up like at 6, and I'm like, man, I feel like I should be doing the show right now.
Yeah.
But I'm getting up early for work. It was awful.
That sounds atrocious.
It does sound atrocious.
Did
but
they at least
I got
provide
to sleep
free
in
lunch?
Sunday. Free breakfast, but it was like fruit and bacon. Bacon was delicious.
Okay, that's good.
Fruit and
Sometimes when you get catered bacon, though, it tastes like plastic.
Yeah, it kind of was that plastic.
It was that
like
thin, plasticky bacon.
That is the
Not
worst
worth it.
bacon known to man, though, isn't it?
It is.
Like, give me some real bacon, something crispy, something with a little bit more substance. I can't deal with you and your rubbery bacon, stupid hotel
Yeah.
caterer. Yeah, so that was me sleeping in. It was terrible, but I did get to sleep in Sunday, so that was a nice
Yeah.
thing. I can live with that. But can I just say something more atrocious than
What's
not
that?
being able to sleep in on a Saturday morning? This is breaking news, and I needed to start us off on the right foot today because I'm really concerned about this Kenyan regional political party meeting that they had. It was for Homa Bay County, and they meet, and they're talking about very important topics until somebody in the crowd, one of these political pundits, might you add, they say that there was an awful fart that smelled so bad they had to pause their proceedings and move on. And I would like to just read to you some of the quotes from this meeting. It was very unfortunate. One man says, "Honorable Speaker, one of us has polluted the air and I know who it is." And then the other guy, he says, "I'm not the one. I cannot do such a thing in front of my colleagues." And then the original man says, "We cannot continue sitting in an environment that smells this bad." Have you ever been in a situation, especially like an important meeting? This one was a Kenyan, like, political, regional, county get-together, and someone farts so bad that, like, you literally have to leave the room?
Yes. Well, not in that big of a scenario, but yes. The worst though is not when you do it in a crowded space. When you do it in a crowded space like that, you get to die. Take that to your grave that it wasn't you.
Nobody would
gets to
ever
figure it
know.
out. Like unless you like ripped it and everybody can see where the noise came from. But if it's one of those silent but deadly ones, you're good. The problem is, Loudbeard, situation I was in one time. So I was getting a massage, and one snuck past the guard, and it's only you and the masseuse.
Ooh.
So they know they didn't do it. So I was just sitting there hoping that like the like massage oils and all the incense and stuff would just cover it up.
It was a smelly one though too, wasn't it?
It was
I
the
have a
best
feeling.
of times. It was the worst of times, Loudbeard.
Woo! Yeah. Yeah. Now I will say I didn't accuse this person, but I felt bad mentally thinking it in my head. So I used to work in retail, and I like supervised cashiers at one point in my illustrious career. And I went over, and there was this cashier, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it stinks so bad over next to this cashier. That cashier just ripped one of the worst smelling farts I've ever smelled. Well, the cashier calls me over, and I'm reluctantly wanting to go over there. I'm like, oh my God, I know it smells so bad, and it is this cashier. And the cashier's like, somebody left this rotten bag of broccoli. And I was like, oh, okay,
Sure.
I'll get rid of
Sure.
that. No, it was literally, she
Oh,
handed
what's
me
the
this
broccoli?
box with a rotten bag of broccoli that was the most horrific smell I've ever smelled in my life. And I really felt bad because I didn't blame the cashier. I just mentally in my head thought the cashier just ripped like really classic worst smelling fart scenario ever. And I still to this day I feel bad because I was gonna accuse the cashier, and it was a bag of rotten broccoli the entire time.
Now, smelly farts are bad, but they go away. Everybody has them from time to time. But when somebody has bad BO, what do you do, Loudbeard? Do you tell them? Do you say, hey, next time take a shower? Or do you just suck it up and just try to hold your breath while you're out? Like, I don't get people who don't properly take care of themselves in that hygiene department.
That's a tough one. I also think of that bad breath sometimes is tough too. Like, you it's one of those situations where, like, do you say something? And I guess it depends on the situation. I work with the public a lot in my line of work, and you always run into somebody that just doesn't smell that good. And typically, what you do is you take care of whatever they need, suck it up, and then once they're gone, you go and step outside and get a fresh breath of air. And you don't say anything. I mean, especially in a customer relationship type situation, like that's the best way to lose a customer for life is to tell them they smell. And, it would be the respectable thing to do is just say, I'm sorry, you need to put deodorant on, but it's not going to work out. It's not going to end well. And those are tough situations, Now, if it's like a significant other, somebody that you can, talk to without it being like really bad, you can say, oh, yeah, you smell a little bit extra today. Why don't you go take a shower? And it doesn't end well, right? Like, it's hard to have that conversation.
Yeah, mostly your kids are really the only ones you get away with it. Like, dude, you stink. Go take a shower.
Yeah, that is a lot easier. And typically they do stink.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't smell it as bad, I guess. I don't know. But dude,
Or they just don't care.
Yeah.
Because you got to
that's
remember,
true.
they're closer to sitting in their own poop than we are. So, like, they're used to, like, just stinking all the time. They're like,
Yeah.
well, 5 years ago, I used to sit in my own crap. So, this is better than that.
Yeah, kids. It's unbelievable, man.
And obviously, if it's like a construction worker or somebody who works hard labor, you're like, you forgive them because you understand why they stink. But when they come in, they look clean, but they smell so bad. You're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, and I think with my wife, she runs and exercises and goes and works out. So occasionally it'll be one of those, she'll go and work out after work, and there's really not enough time for her to come home and shower.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we go get
I mean,
dinner.
that's not a big
So
deal. Like I said,
we'll
like,
go,
you just did
hey,
that.
let's go,
That's fine.
Yeah, let's go meet somewhere. And she's like, I don't know if I want to go to like a nice sit-down restaurant because I smell. So we got to make it like a place where maybe we could sit out on a porch. So
Yeah.
if I do smell, it's not gonna mess up
Offend
everybody.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like this past week, I think we went to Ale House one day after she worked out because her place that she works out is right near the Ale House. And we're like, can we get a spot out on the porch? Yeah, let's do that. Lots
do
of
that.
smells out there anyway. We're okay with that. So we got a little outside patio area. That was okay. And, she'll say, I stink. And I'm like, okay, I agree with you. And we move on. And we're okay there.
Yeah. Now, Loudbeard, I'm so particular about this that the times where you're running late, you rush out the door and you're like, you get down the road and you're like, damn it, I forgot to wear deodorant. I will stop and buy deodorant somewhere at a gas station or whatever just to make sure that I'm not that person that is walking around all day with a stench.
Yeah, you got to. Like, there's no, it's not like deodorant's that expensive. Like, you can go get like a $2 stick of cheapo deodorant just to get you through the day. I did that. I went up and traveled to South Carolina to help move in DD. And when you pack stuff for a trip and you're like, oh, I forgot to pack something. Ooh, forgot to put the deodorant in. I'm like, hey, we need to run up to Walmart real quick. I need deodorant. It was cool. That's what you do. You go buy it. Like, you don't just say, oh, I've got some at home. No big deal. I'll just make it through the weekend or I'll make it through the day. No, you need it. You got to go get that stuff.
You got to go get it. Can't go without it. But Loudbeard, speaking of things that stink, you see this?
I like stinky stories.
I couldn't remember if we talked about this on the show or if it broke right after the show on Friday. But did you see AB's excuse for wanting to quit football?
It did break right after our show. That was like
Okay.
a Friday afternoon.
I felt like we
hot
talked
take.
about Antonio Brown, but I don't think we talked about him not showing up because of this reason. It was because of his foot, right, is what we discussed?
Yeah, he had that cryogenic injury where his foot had too many blisters and he was just taking some time off. But
Yeah.
the helmet, we did not talk about the helmet.
Yes. Is that the most stinkiest excuse you've ever heard?
This guy, there's something wrong with this guy. I don't know that the Raiders are getting exactly what they thought they were going to get, though I don't know why they would have thought they were getting anything else than this diva wide receiver that now is saying, hey, you know what? NFL, if you're not going to let me wear my old style of helmet that I want to wear, I'm going to peace out. I don't need to work here. I mean, you only pay me, the team only pays me millions and millions of dollars, but I want my old helmet. Why? Well, I still don't understand why this is happening.
So he said something about the way the helmet is. I guess his peripheral vision is blocked, or he doesn't have full vision that he thinks he needs, and so he can't see footballs to catch them. But you're the only receiver in the league so far to complain about this. And that's where, if there were like 10 to 15 other receivers going, yeah, and AB's right, like, we can't see in this helmet, then I would say, okay, like, he has a point. Now, I don't think you should quit over it, but at least he would have a point. But he's the only guy complaining about this, which to me is what makes it stink. It makes it feel like, okay, you're making this up.
Yeah, he's just a troublemaker, and I don't think he has any intention of actually retiring. I've seen later stories that broke throughout the weekend. One says, he may wear the new helmet, but he's going to hold the league liable if he has a head injury. He said, that's it. He said, legally they're responsible for me now because I can't wear my old helmet. Though the old helmet probably isn't as safe. That's why the league isn't letting him wear it. That doesn't make sense.
I think it's one of those things where he said something, he realized how stupid it was, and now he's trying to backtrack.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. But John Gruden comes out and he says he's in full support of Antonio Brown in anything he decides to do. Gruden is a supporter of Antonio Brown.
All right, so we got him supporting Antonio Brown wanting to quit football over a helmet, and he's falling in love with that Nathan Peterman guy. Lots of great choices there, Gruden.
Yeah. Though as a coach, like, that this guy's a diva, and that there's a very high probability that he's going to play no matter what happens. I guess you got to just suck it up and say, yeah, we support this guy. Like, what else are you going to say? If you run out there and just give him the old, you know what? We don't think you're doing the right moves and start like trashing him. What's AB gonna do? He's just not gonna play, right?
Yeah, you can't start your foot off on the wrong foot. Sorry, that sounded stupid, but you can't start off on the wrong foot. But I do see halfway through the season, Gruden's going to be losing it.
Oh yeah. So officially, we are done with week 1 of preseason, which feels good because we're actually 1 week closer to real football starting, and we can be done with all this preseason madness. Now, Antonio Brown, he's going to continue to be a story we talk about. We'll probably be talking about Antonio Brown for the next 4 weeks nonstop until football starts, and then we can just enjoy football for what it is. Because he's going to be on Hard Knocks, and we're going to probably have crazy stories about him on Hard Knocks, and he's going to continue the shenanigans. I think he loves the attention. Seeing his name on the headlines, he probably is one of those guys that pops up ESPN and sees his name on that ticker and just absolutely was like, yeah, I'm big time now. Look at me. I'm the whole story right there.
Yeah, and have we seen him on Hard Knocks yet, though? Hasn't he been out?
Yeah, he's been out, but he was like at practice, and remember his sons were like, hey, Dad, where's Big Ben at?
Oh, yeah, but that was the first episode, though, right? Has there only been one episode?
Yeah, I think the other one comes on tonight. Is it Monday nights? I don't think it was Sunday night. I don't know. I need to catch this first episode still, to be honest with you. It's Raiders. What can I say? Now, other
Raiders.
Other preseason action from just recapping week 1. I'm going to give some overreactions here to you. One thing, Patrick Mahomes, beautiful pass for his first pass in preseason, hits Travis Kelce. Mahomes is still the MVP. There's just no doubts there. Right?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, Baker Mayfield looks like the next superstar, so that's another overreaction. This is the one that caught me all weekend. This one that hurts me a little bit. There seemed to be a little influx of memes on the internet because the internet is mean and likes to make fun of my Redskins. And the memes and the different, hate going on is that Dwayne Haskins was the underachiever, we'll say, of the quarterbacks in this rookie class. And Daniel Jones looks like the superstar. So right now the overreaction is Dwayne Haskins being the bust and Daniel Jones being the gem for the New York Giants.
You think
One preseason game. One game.
Do you think it's because he's an Ohio State player that he gets more of the hate?
Yes. I think that's one reason why. I mean, another reason would be because, just all Ohio State. That's it. Everything's Ohio State. I mean, he did throw 2 interceptions, so he kind of deserved that. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this. This is my team, man. Go Redskins. Don't worry, we're coming back. Another overreaction, Patriots. Their rookie class is going to be the best rookie class in the NFL. They had some outstanding performances. This is week 1 of preseason, so overreacting here. But N'Keal Harris, Chase Winovich, Jarrett Stidham all played really good. But they also had an undrafted rookie, Jacoby Myers, had 69 yards, giggity, and 2 TDs. So Patriots, best rookie class right here. You heard it.
So Patriots Super Bowl?
Oh, God, don't say that. That's what I'm thinking here. I'm like, okay, so the best team that wins the Super Bowl has the best rookie class. Is this the worst thing that I could possibly be saying right now, thinking of the upcoming football season? Like, the only thing that we can hope for is that the age and time, Father Time, finally catches up to Tom Brady. Otherwise, I mean, what's stopping the Patriots right now? Nothing. Except maybe
my boy Patrick Mahomes. Yeah.
He needs to become the kryptonite for the Patriots. He needs to be that guy. The rest of the league needs that. Every fan base other than the Patriots needs Patrick Mahomes to just knock them down a peg or two and knock Tom Brady down a peg or two. I mean, he's a nice guy, but we're tired of him, right? We want to move on.
Yeah. it's been like a long dynasty too. 20 years, man. 20 years
Yeah.
you've been talking about the Patriots winning the Super Bowl year in and year out. We've never seen anything like it, I don't think.
No, there isn't. There's no comparison. to
Maybe
dynasties.
the Yankees get that from like 1994 to maybe 2014. The Yankees had that, you think? I don't even know if it
think
was that
so,
long.
man. No, I don't think so. Because the Yankees had some down years. I mean,
I'm
they're
just talking
good.
about going into the season, they were hyped up to win the World Series.
Ugh.
Because you had their three-peat. As long as they had, what's his name? Number 2. Why can't I think of his name right now? I wanted to say Chipper Jones, but I know that's not it. And Scott Kaiser would hate me for blaspheming Chipper Jones' name on a New York Yankees team. Who wore number 2? Why can't I think of him? The guy that just retired.
Derek Jeter, Alex
Derek
Rodriguez.
Jeter, yeah. As long
Okay.
as they had Derek Jeter, I think that a lot of people just hyped up the Yankees.
Yeah, and I mean they've got the largest fan base out of any Major League Baseball team.
Yeah.
Red Sox fans would not like me to say that, but it's the truth. I'm sorry, Boston. The Yankees have the largest fan base, and when you have the largest fan base, you always get the most hype going into the season. Because even if you're just good and not great, you're still going to get the hype because that's what people want. They want their team to be in that spotlight. And they were good with Derek Jeter, with Alex Rodriguez. I mean, that team was a dynasty, but I mean that's not that 1994 range. I mean, when Jeter come into the league, I feel like it was later than that.
I want to say he was 92 to 94 was when his was around that time when he started off his rookie year.
Yeah, I can't remember. You may want to stat
I
machine.
mean, I know it was like 96 to 90 to 2000. They won like what 3 or 4 championships.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look. You're
Well,
asking me too
Loudbeard,
many
who
baseball
cares?
questions. I can't.
Nobody cares. But you know what people do
Good
care
point.
about, Loudbeard, and it's
What's
another
that?
thing that stinks.
This is a
People
theme.
care about this, and it stinks, and that's breakups, especially when we're talking about a breakup between Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth. I know.
This is
That's
sad.
shocking news to you.
Oh, on a side note, yesterday was Chris Hemsworth's birthday. So happy birthday, Chris.
Oh, wow. Way to go. Way to ruin his birthday by breaking up, you guys. Making it all about you. Now I got to wonder
now that
who
you say
did the
that-
breakup, because... Huh?
I said, now that you say that, I mean, Chris is all sitting over there. Like, hey, I'm Thor. I'm definitely the cooler brother. And Liam's like, yeah, but I married Miley Cyrus. But guess what? It's your birthday. Screw you. I'm divorcing her, and I'm taking all the news, taking all the attention off of you, you stupid Thor MFer. Is that how it went?
I don't know, but Miley Cyrus tweeted out 18 hours ago the first post after the announced split up. Don't fight evolution because you will never win. Like the mountain I am standing on top of, which was once underwater, connected with Africa, change is inevitable. The Dolomites were not created overnight. It was over millions of years that this magnificent beauty was formed. And of course she has like pictures of her on top of this mountain that us peasants will never be able to visit.
Weird.
She also said, she continued, my dad always told me nature never hurries, but it is always on time. It fills my heart with peace and hope, knowing that is true. I was taught to respect the planet and its process, and I am committed to doing the same with my own. So she's handling the breakup by talking about the environment.
You know, When Nature Calls is a great movie by Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Do you think this is what the
yes.
split was over? Do you think Liam accidentally, threw something out the car window? And then there was a fight over
Oh.
littering in the planet? And she's like, you don't love the planet? Then you don't love me. We're done, Zoe.
Could be. Yeah. You know, I'm picturing them driving down in like a 1985 Chevrolet big station wagon, and they're driving down the road and they're sitting there and they're arguing back and forth, and all of a sudden Liam bites into a big piece of Big Mac,
Mhm.
and it's delicious. He savors it, and he's like,
Yep.
"Man, this cow meat is delicious." And then she's
Mhm.
like looking over at him, like, she's kind of thinking, "Okay, red meat, killing cows. I don't like that. I don't like that about you." And then he takes another bite. And it's like, special sauce dribbling down his face, and she doesn't like that either. She's like, "Clean yourself up. You're a mess." And he's like, you want to see a mess? And he takes the wrapper and in the trash and everything and just throws it out the window. And he says, "See that? Now that's a mess. Don't call me a mess. That is a mess." And since then, divorce.
I got a little bit of a different version of that story,
Okay,
Loudbeard.
let's hear it.
Okay, because I think you went with like the peasant story of this, but since we're talking Miley Cyrus and Liam Neeson, they're really driving around in a 2020 Bugatti, and Liam is in the passenger seat eating a Kobe beef, and the same argument happens, but then he says, "You know what? My brother's Thor. I don't have to stand for this. We're donezo."
I like that word, dunzo. That's a nice
Dunzo.
touch.
That is exactly how they broke up. We're donezo.
That's a beautiful touch. Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, if I had a brother named Thor and he was actually really Thor, I'd be throwing that around left and right, man.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place. I'm
My
like, you need
brother's
to let me-
Thor. I don't have to stand for this on his birthday. I don't have to stand for this on Thor's birthday. We're donezo.
Again, dunzo, nice touch. I'd do that at the restaurants, too. I'd be like, "I want the chef table. My brother's Thor.
My brother's
Give me the
Thor.
damn chef table. He'll throw a hammer at your head." Or an
And it's his
axe.
birthday.
And it's his birthday. It never ends. Now we have a hot tweet coming in from
Yeah,
Jenny
we
of
do.
Ohio. She's bringing back baseball. She wants us to continue to talk baseball. Yeah, we can continue talking baseball. I actually have a little bit more baseball to talk about, but I was not going to talk about your Houston Astros, Jenny, but she does bring up a nice little factoid here. The Houston Astros have outscored the opposition 80-17 over the last 8 games.
So hot.
Wow, that is impressive. You know
I
what?
think they
I'm going
won-
to give it the old.
Oh, yeah.
That was nice.
I think they won 23-2 the other day.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
They actually they beat the Orioles. So I don't know if that's like a great feat. Orioles right now are sitting 39-78. They are the second worst team in Major League. Now, after they lost by 23 runs, I will say that I saw a lot of people out there wondering if it would be a good idea to maybe switch the Orioles out with maybe a little league team. Maybe switch them out with one of the higher performing minor league teams. Maybe we would get a better product on the field. So do I give the credit to the Astros being good, or should I give the credit to the Orioles just being that stinky? See, I stuck with the theme there, stink.
Wait, Loudbeard, I'm gonna come back with a hot take.
Hot day.
The Astros were hot, but then they lost to the Orioles 8-7. Are Houston falling apart at the wrong time?
How do you lose to the Orioles? I just don't
How do you
understand.
do
The
that? They
Orioles
are-
had lost like 6 games in a row, and then all of
They
a
are
sudden
the citadel of
they're back.
baseball.
Yes, that would be like Alabama losing to the Citadel.
Yes.
They play them every other year because that's tough competition for the Alabama Roll Tide. So when the Houston Astros roll into town on the Orioles, all of a sudden you're thinking, "Oh, great, here we go again. It's going to be another 23-2." But when the Astros fall apart, they absolutely dissolve into nothing, and the Orioles come back with a big win.
Yeah. We don't want to talk
You
about the
kinda
Houston
wonder.
Astros. They're a bunch of losers. I want winners.
I mean, they do have a long losing streak of one game going
do.
into Monday morning.
Coming into
They're
Monday with
looking at
this
it.
trash.
Yeah,
Losing
I
to
mean-
the Orioles. They should fall out of the top 25.
Maybe out of the top 28.
I don't even know, Loudbeard, if they should make the playoffs. Their strength of schedule is not that good.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? To make baseball more interesting, when you lose to a team, you all of a sudden you get their place. So right now the
Yeah.
Orioles would have been in second to last place. So if the Astros lose to the Orioles and the Orioles are in second last place, the Astros de facto go to be second to last place. Is that the rule? I think that's how we make baseball great again.
That is the rule. Yep. It is.
All of that makes really perfect sense to me. Though I will say I was surprised to see that the Orioles weren't in last place. I had to look at the standings just to see. I'm like, what's going on right now in Major League Baseball?
Who is in last place?
Well,
it's
also the team that will probably be in last place in the NFL. That's Detroit. That city, just a bunch of last placers. I'm just saying. The Detroit Tigers, not looking too hot.
Detroit can't get it. Other than the Pistons, man, they can't figure it out.
Yeah. Astros, I'm sorry, not the Astros.
Or not the Pistons, but I
Astros.
mean, the Red Wings were good, too. They had their 25-year run. They won a bunch of Stanley Cups. I almost said World Cups in the late 90s.
Yeah, but we can't hang on to the 90s, can we?
No, we can't. I mean, the movie industry can, but we can't.
Yeah, so, and the Lions, they lose 30-3 to the Patriots. That's another one of my week one overreactions I should have gotten into. Lions looked lifeless, as I've seen written in some articles about the Lions. The Lions get shellacked by the Patriots week one. Now, it's week one of
Which
the
just
preseason.
solidifies the Patriots winning the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. They just won over the really difficult Detroit Lions team. And now Detroit has the worst team in Major League Baseball and the worst team in the NFL. This is a bad time to be a Detroit fan.
It stinks.
It does stink. Oh, well, you know what else stinks, Chris America? There is a tradition, unlike any other tradition that happens in football. It has to do with your Florida Gators and possibly a 4-game suspension for substance abuse. I'll tell you a little bit more about that after a quick commercial break. Hey, Kwai, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. Ah, 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Patriot, Chris America, and I want you to listen every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and on replays from 11 a.m. to noon of Scout Team Sports. Listen, George Washington did not cross over the ocean blue in 1492 to defeat the Nazis, so you can listen to the same tired national clickbait sports stories. So once again, tune in to us every single morning, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and then we replay from 11 to noon. I will see you there, and God bless America.
All right. Thank you all. And, oh, man, I didn't even have the cue for the music up. I am sorry for that. But thank you all for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio. He is the great Patriot, our favorite Patriot. You know him as Chris America. I'm Loudbeard. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. right here on 12-Ounce Sports Radio. Hit us up on Twitter. We like to get interactive. We like to get social. It is at Scout Team Radio right here on Twitter. Man, I feel like it's been a long weekend, and I'm just rusty. I feel like I've lost all my my skills talking on the microphone, but that's okay. You only need so many skills to be able to just keep talking. And one of those skills is going and downloading our podcast. You just need that skill. You go to Spotify, you go to Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find your podcast, Google Play, anywhere you find them, and you search Scout Team Radio, you will get our daily live show on podcast, on demand, and you can listen to us at any time. That is a great thing. That is a great feeling, and you need to continue to do that. Well,
you should also subscribe and rate us 5 stars.
Yeah, 5 stars. If you're going to do us 3 stars, 4 stars, maybe 2 stars, maybe 1 star, just don't even bother.
I'll take
but
a
5
4
stars.
star here or there, but 5 stars, yes.
Yeah, you like the 4s? You're okay with
4s
that?
are okay. I'm okay with, like, we still got a little work to do to be perfect.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I learned something at a very young age from a No Fear T-shirt. It said second place is the first loser. And ever since then, that's how I feel about second place. And a 4-star rating is second place. And that we don't have any place for that in our society right now for Scout Team
You're
Radio.
right. Bringing up a No Fear shirt. I always listen
That's
to
classic.
wisdom. I always listen to wisdom on the back of someone's T-shirt.
That's how you learn life.
Yeah.
Pack of T-shirts. It's good stuff. Before the commercial break, I teased a little bit about the greatest American tradition that we have ever known. And Antonio Callaway, he is the wide receiver of the Cleveland Browns. But before he went to Cleveland, he was that troubled young wide receiver for the Florida Gators.
Yes, he was.
You remember those stories. Antonio Callaway in trouble again at Florida. Gonna miss time. Those were depressing, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, especially with how good he was. And he still is.
Very talented young receiver. Now, the Cleveland Browns are now getting a taste what the great American tradition of being a Florida Gator athlete is all about, and that's continuing to get into trouble. And Antonio Callaway busted. 4-game suspension for, what was his problem? Substance abuse. That's what the league labeled it as. We'll call it substance abuse. I don't know what substance. Probably marijuana is what I'm going with. But Antonio Callaway, back in trouble again. Man, I feel like we're back at home. Gator Nation.
If you're the Browns owner, are you not pushing to get rid of marijuana testing?
Oh yeah, that would be a good thing for him.
I mean, he goes from Gordon to now Callaway. He can't get his receivers to stay on the field because of marijuana, and it's not that big of a deal. I don't care if my wide receiver is smoking marijuana. Just let him play.
Well, I do have to say, he might have better luck with running backs that get in domestic violence. I mean, would that be a better Kareem Hunt?
I would much rather my dudes be smoking marijuana and chilled out than running around beating women in hotel lobbies.
That's an interesting take. I mean, you're advocating for drug use right here on our show. I don't know if I can stand with you on this. Oh, wait, did you say marijuana?
Yes, marijuana.
Yeah.
I didn't say coke.
That counts.
I didn't say heroin. I didn't say methamphetamines. Just good old wacky grass.
Did
wacky
you say
tobacco.
bath salts? I think you said bath salts. I can't encourage you using bath salts.
Only if you're a Tampa Bay Buccaneer or a Jaguar or a Miami Dolphin. You can only do it if you're a Florida man.
Yes, this is true. This is very true. Oh, man. So I'm going to be excited for some college football. Just talking about former Gator Antonio Callaway, it makes me think of college football. And it's coming. It's going to be right around the corner. We're getting ready for it. I know you're getting ready for it. So I can't wait. Absolutely can't wait.
Ladbear, I'm looking over a Twitter trending thing, and I saw you staring, and there's a couple of here. I saw you staring, and I thought you caught me playing pocket pool.
Ooh. If you think that, you probably were, right?
Yeah. I saw you staring, and I immediately went to my go-to move.
Okay. There you go.
And then I've had this happen to me before, Loudbeard. I saw you staring, and then I realized you were a poster.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've had
You could
those, like
also
we were at
plug
the
in-
mall,
Ooh.
and there's like that cardboard cutout. You're like, why is that dude staring at me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could also like sub in like lifelike mannequin in that
Yep.
right there. Yeah, I've had that happen.
Now the worst, Loudbeard, is you see somebody staring at you, and they're smiling, and it's like an attractive woman. You're like, oh wow, like she's noticing me, and then she waves, and then so you wave back, and then they're like, oh no, behind you. Worst ever.
Ooh. You know, I always find that weird, and I'm going to take the attractive woman part out of it, just with anybody in general.
Just with anybody, yeah.
Yeah, when you're like, let's say you're
But I think
in
the
the
attractive
mall.
woman, because you're kind of excited. You're like, wow, like an attractive woman's noticing me. But yes, anybody, it does make it embarrassing.
Yeah, well, it's always awkward because at first you're like, is that person waving at me? Should I know who this person is? And it's really just like a millisecond that all these thoughts just like really fast go through your head. And
You're
so
like, do I wave back?
you react and you're like, should I wave or should I not? And I found that, and I probably learned this a long time ago, waving is never a good idea. I'm always like,
Never.
I'm now to the point where I'm like, I need to investigate this further. Because if you wave, it always means they're waving at the person behind you. And then you're just screwed at that point. There's no recovering from that.
Yeah.
You just look like a dummy.
You do.
Had that happen before.
And even though
So-
it's just like one of the it's one of the dumbest things to feel stupid and embarrassed about too, because it happens to everybody.
Yeah. But there's no getting out of that embarrassment, right? Like there's no way
yeah.
you're like, oh, it's cool. This happens all the time. Don't worry. Yeah, no, it's like, okay, I feel like I'm just worthless at this point. You're like, this was terrible. This is bad.
It's not like releasing an epically bad fart that they have to cancel a political meeting over it.
Yeah. But in all fairness, they didn't cancel. They suspended it for 10 minutes, let everybody leave, get fresh air, let the smell vacate, and then they came back in. But yeah, your embarrassment lasts a lot longer than 10 minutes. So I don't know. Kind of could be bad on both fronts there.
Have you ever had somebody staring at you and you were like, what the hell? And then you realize they were blind?
I have not had that
That's-
specific scenario happen to me.
That was one of the tweets I saw you staring, and then I realized you were blind.
All right. Let's see. Chris America, I have something for you real quick. This is just a special little treat specifically for you. I think you're going to like it. So I have a question for you. Well, I have a scenario. We're going to do a
Who's your daddy?
real
Hold on.
quick. This-
I'll go one more
Mhm.
just to see
Okay,
if this
one more.
happened to you. I saw you staring, and then you said, nice beard.
Nice beard?
Yeah, has that ever happened to you?
Oh, all the time. Basically
Oh, okay.
everywhere I go. Yeah.
All right, that's
Pretty standard. All right, so somebody that gets stared at a lot, Mark Davis for the formerly Oakland Raiders or currently Oakland Raiders. I still can't figure that out. So he gets upset, and I just want to know who he gets upset at. I'm going to give you the scenario. He calls this particular group of people real pricks. He said they've really been effing around with us up here, taking advantage of the situation. Now, my question for you, Chris America, when Mark Davis calls these people a real group of pricks and that really been effing around with him, is he talking about his hairstylist or the Oakland Athletics?
Who's your daddy?
Well, I thought you were going to be talking about cactuses since he's moving out to the desert, but he should be talking about his barber or his hairstylist, because whoever gives him that haircut and lets him go out there like that is a real prick. Like, they're not your friend.
Ah,
But
sometimes
I'm
the
gonna say
obvious.
I'm going to
Go
say
ahead.
that since he still goes out like that for the last however many years, he's talking about the Oakland Athletics.
He is talking about the Oakland Athletics. Right now, they are sharing the Oakland Coliseum, and apparently it's not very friendly. He said he loves the A's. He loves the players. He said it's a real good group of players. They're great people. He said, but the front office, the Oakland Athletics front office, he said they're real pricks. And he said they've been effing around with them up there, and taking advantage of the situation. I guess Oakland, the Athletics, they feel a little bit more entitled in that stadium, and they're doing something. They're really not giving the Raiders the loving treatment. But does that surprise you when a team announces 3 years before they're going to move that they're moving and they're leaving their city high and dry? Do you think that in those circumstances you're surprised that the other team in that city doesn't give you hell for leaving?
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of this going on too, Ladberg, because he's talking about the front office. There's definitely some guys and gals in there that have been eyeballing these offices that the Raiders hold right now in the building, and they go away for the summer and they've moved in already. They're like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to take over that office that Jim has. I'm just going to remove all of his stuff, put it in a box, and leave it out front door, and I'm going to set up my office here because he's moving soon. Who knows when he's going to be moving? And I've been eyeballing that office for the last 3 years now, and it's time for Jim to go.
Yeah, and I honestly think Mark Davis had that happen to him. He takes a 3-week vacation over the summer, probably goes to Italy or France or somewhere exotic. I'm making all this up, but he probably does. And he comes back and he's got stuff missing off of his desk.
Yep.
Somebody has already claimed his office, like you said, and he's got this beautiful window that he looks out and sees. It's just a beautiful scene. Well, somebody's stacked up all their boxes and they're blocking his view from his window. And yeah, I think Mark Davis is like, these guys are already kicking us out. I don't like this. Real pricks.
Yep, and you know what? The fans in Oakland don't give a damn. They're actually going to love the Athletics even more for this. And I think it's a power move by the A's, and it's all positive for them. Nobody gives a care about a whiny crybaby billionaire with a bad haircut.
Absolutely not. Does anybody care about anybody with a bad haircut, though? You lose integrity with bad haircut.
Not particularly, no.
Yeah. And I'm the type of guy that doesn't have half my hair. It's half bald, So I know it's like if you have all your hair, you might as well make it look nice. You should be appreciative that you have your hair at that age. And no, you've just desecrated it.
Yeah, you have enough money to have any hairstylist in the world come take care of you.
Yeah, you could actually get a fashion advisor to come in and tell you what the best look would be for your face shape and face size and your whole what kind of hair you have and the type of hair. You could have somebody like for a lot of money come in and give you all of the advice that you need, and you basically still go with the bowl cut. It's terrible.
Hopefully it's like
terrible.
a really nice China type bowl with like gold, like it's a gold plated bowl
Probably.
with golden scissors.
You know what? It's so easy to make fun of this guy. This is terrible. We got to stop this. Let's move on to the next topic I got going on here.
Okay.
So this weekend, Cormier and Stipe getting a little rematch action. So
Yeah, we're actually gonna have we're actually gonna have the fight over at my place, man. You gonna come over?
Well, I would, but it is my wife's birthday, so I don't know.
Well, it's my birthday before that.
Yes, it's a good point. It's a very good point. It's true. Now you put me in a real tough spot. Rock in a hard place.
You
over
chose
here,
her
Chris
last year,
America.
buddy, so you can choose me this year.
Okay. That might not go over too well. Just
tell her
you know.
she stinks.
Whew. Yeah. So you being my UFC expert, you watch most of these fights. Stipe comes out and he says this layoff has been a blessing. He hasn't fought in a little while, but he feels like he's well rested and recovered and ready to go. What do you think the outcome of this fight's going to be, and what do you think we can expect as the casual viewer of this Stipe Cormier fight?
Well, Stipe lost last time because he got caught. And Stipe's a really good fighter. I think he's been studying film, watching all of DC's fights again, realizing what his mistakes were. I think he's going to take it to DC. I really do. I think he's going to come out a man possessed, and I think we're going to see DC push to his limit again, and he's going to lose. DC's going to lose to Stipe, and I'm going to love every bit of it because I hate DC.
Gotcha.
And
you hate him because he's got a dad bod, right? That's the reasoning?
No, because he's just one of those pricks, like Mark Davis says.
Yeah, Oakland Athletics front office, just like Daniel Cormier. Yeah, I can see this happening. I mean, Cormier's had a pretty good run, other than a few of the John Jones fights. I mean, Cormier's had a really successful career. And
No, I mean John Jones is the only guy that he's lost to.
right. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And so now this could be the upset. So for all of our gambling friends out there, because a lot of people out like to throw some casual money down on a big Saturday night fight, you're telling all of us that we should put our life savings on Stipe, is what you're saying.
Sure.
All right, great advice. I love that. I love that out of you, Chris America. You don't hold back. You just tell everybody how it is, raw and uncensored.
Yeah. So
speak-
he hasn't fought. Stipe hasn't fought since January of 2018, or sorry, July of 2018. So it's been over a year, 13 months.
Yeah, it's a pretty good layoff.
That
I mean, I
does
feel
that
like
does concern me a little bit.
yeah, you can get rusty pretty quick.
Yeah, Daniel Cormier, he's been busy since then. He has been doing work. Let's see, how many fights has he had? I don't know. He's only had one fight since then, and it was against that bum Derek Lewis. Never mind, because he hasn't fought since November. So they've both had long layoffs between these two fights.
I mean, not to change the subject, but that's the one thing I get frustrated with UFC is once guys get big, they stop fighting. They always start taking more time off, and then instead of having 4 to 5 fights in a year, calendar year, they start going down to like 1 or 2 in a calendar year. Like, it's not enough. We need more out of the UFC stars.
And you feel like they get injured all the time, and so that makes them miss even more time. Because I think that's what happened with DC. But like, when does this happen in any other sport where you take 8 months off for injuries? Like, we see guys in all other sports get injured all the time, and they're back in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, unless it's serious, right? Like the ACL
Right.
tear
Yeah.
or
Well,
broken
yeah. You get the
leg or whatever.
ACL tear, broken bones, but it's never that. Other than the one guy last fight that tore his ACL, that was fighting my boy John Jones. But
Yeah.
then you
I'll give it to
understand
that
it. But
guy. Yeah,
yeah.
he fought through that too, man. That guy, he
Mhm.
was hobbled, but he still gave it his all. That was pretty impressive. But I'm with you. I mean, I do think it's like the old, I tweaked my hamstring. I'm gonna need 6 to 8 months.
yeah, you won't see me again until next year.
Yeah, I'm not all about that lifestyle. I think that UFC needs to fix that. I'm gonna go ahead and send a tweet right now to Dana White. Send. Okay, sent my tweet.
But meanwhile, John Jones, he has been working during that time. How many fights has John Jones had since November? So he's had 3 fights since that November fight that DC had.
Good. That's what we
Yeah.
need. Good
He's
for
fought
John
in December, he fought in March, and then he fought in July.
Jones. Yep,
And I'm pretty sure he's going to fight again before the end of the year.
it's a true story.
DC needs to get some work.
Yeah, and again, these big names, they and I understand the injury thing, but you're right. Like maybe we're milking that a little too much, and maybe they don't want to lose their belt, so they push off fights. And that was your biggest complaint with Conor McGregor is, come on, man, defend your belt. Like get out there, fight. Like we want to see you guys in the ring. So I don't know, man. I think UFC's got a long way to go. They're no WWE. Those guys go out
Those
and
guys,
show
oh
up
my gosh.
every
Yes.
week, every day. Those guys are Iron Men. And last night, SummerSlam absolutely delivers. You've got Goldberg coming back, spearing the life out of Ziggler. Did I say that right? I
Dolph
probably didn't.
Ziggler, yep.
Yes. And then Trish Stratus comes back. She's there.
Oh, they're bringing back
Seth-
all the old people.
Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar have a big fight. It was an old people SummerSlam. I kind of wish I would have watched it.
Did Trish age well? I haven't seen her in years.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in that kind of forum, you look a little plasticky over the time. I think it's a natural
she was
aging
always
process.
she was always kind of plasticky though.
Yeah, a little plasticky. Big golf news. You like golf. Patrick
Yep.
Reed shoots a 69 giggity
Who?
giggity to win the Northern Trust.
Oh, okay. I think the story there was 69, not Patrick Reed, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And dad bod fighting. Remember the Mexican guy that beat Anthony Joshua? He was like complete underdog.
Yes.
His name was Andy Ruiz, and he had the dad bod. Apparently, they've decided on a rematch for December 7th. Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz are going at it again. I don't know. If I was Andy Ruiz, I think I would totally be like, no, I'm done. I already beat you. I'm good. But I'm pretty sure they're throwing some good money his way.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Loudbeard, I'm sitting here on John Jones's Wikipedia page because I had to see how many fights he's had since November.
Yes.
You know how he goes by John Bones Jones?
Yes, I've heard that nickname used. Yes.
Apparently before that, he went by Sexual Chocolate. Maybe we should have known that he was going to be trouble when he's going by Sexual Chocolate.
Yeah, that's more of a WWE name,
It
not
is.
a
Wasn't
UFC
that who was that? Mark
mixed martial
Henry.
arts.
I think Mark Henry went by Sexual Chocolate.
I believe he did at some point, yes.
But I kind of do wish that John Jones still went by that. And here is the 19-time champion, John Sexual Chocolate Jones.
I'm thinking I'm going to rename you. No longer Chris
All right.
America. We're going to call
Okay.
you Sexual White Chocolate.
There we go. I like it.
How about that?
Creamy and smooth with all the right mouthfeels. Loudbeard, this episode is donezo. Apparently Loudbeard is too. If you missed any of this,
Dunzo. You're Dunzo. You're
Spotify,
Dunzo.
Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Google Podcasts. Find us, rate us, subscribe. I don't know why I'm talking high now. Peace.